Well, hello. Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome to Once Upon a Turkey Leg. So glad that you are here tonight. Tonight is I almost didn't go live tonight just because it's this is going to be a tough weekend for my family and myself. Tomorrow marks 1 year since my dad passed, and so I almost didn't go live tonight because I thought I would, maybe be a little more emotionally upset. But I'm actually doing okay today, so I decided, you know, I should really go live and, hang out with some friends, read some stories. So anyway, here I am, and here everyone is. Hello. I see Dawn was in here way at the earlier this afternoon. Hello, Dawn. The Hitchhiking Bones. Mandy's Monorail Adventure. Hello, hello. Tennessee Bear. Hello. Welcome. And Tina. Hello. And Chuck. Hope everyone had a great week. A great Valentine's Day. I was live for Valentine's Day earlier this week and had a good stream the other night. So I've got that on the channel. Let's Talk Turkey. It's up there on the channel. Also, Valentine's Day, and before I get into the stories tonight, the Tuesday, Valentine's Day, I had a video go up with my turkey leg here. Did a little lip syncing video. It's up on the channel. If you haven't seen it, it's Celine Dion's if walls could talk. Tennessee Bear, Tim, chasing a squirrel. All right. Saying hi to Chuck, and yeah, Chuck and Tina. Hello, Chuck. And Tina. So anyway, like I said, tonight is I decided to go live after all, and so welcome in, friends. I had hi Carol, Karki, hello, hello, hello. So a minute before I was going to go live, guess what happened? I was putting on my turkey legs, and the plastic inside broke. The actual band inside broke. So the headband is all it's all broken, and it's just, I'm not sure how you fix it. So you see it just broke all in there, and I've been thinking I should order another one sometime. So I've worn it on several streams. So we'll just seal the deal now. So here you have live the official breaking of the turkey leg helmet. There we go. So anyway, I will get on Amazon a little later and grab another one. So anyway, that happened. RVing to Disney. Hi, Jackie. How are you? Welcome in. Oh, just slide a headband in there. I can buy them at the dollar. Oh, well, I'll remember that for the next time it breaks, Tim. I will try to remember that. So anyway, right after I decided I would go live, I decided I would read a story that I actually did a video for last year when my dad was in the hospital, and I read the story Dumbo, and kind of the message of that video was that it was a message to my dad that I was, and everyone was cheering him on, you know, hoping and praying that he would get better. And so kind of like Timothy Mouse does for Dumbo in the movie, which is one reason I love Dumbo. Timothy Mouse especially, such a great character in there, and so it's kind of something I've kind of loved about the story. Hi, Jennifer Caruso, welcome in. So I'm going to be reading Dumbo tonight, and so the second story is also features Dumbo and Timothy Mouse as well. So tonight's stream is, I didn't edit the banner, but anyway, tonight's stream is in memory of my dad, who passed away yesterday, or not yesterday, I'm sorry, tomorrow, a year ago from tomorrow, February the 17th. And so tonight's stream is dedicated to my dad. And hello, Garrett, Monarch Moments, welcome in. We are going to get going with the story. Disney's Dumbo. It was morning at the circus. Hopeful mothers looked up as storks flew overhead. Each stork carried a tiny bundle that held a baby animal. Mrs. Jumbo sighed as she watched the happy mothers cuddling their babies. Oh dear, I did so hope there would be a bundle for me, she thought. A stork flew into Mrs. Jumbo's railway car and dropped a large bundle. Inside was a baby elephant. Jumbo Jr. is what Mrs. Jumbo named him. Look at him, cried the other elephants excitedly. Isn't he a darling? Ooh, yeah. Just then, Mrs. Jumbo's baby sneezed. Out flapped two enormous ears. The other elephants gasped. Then they began to giggle. Aren't they funny? Said one elephant. Dumbo, said another. Mrs. Jumbo didn't care what the other elephants thought. She loved her baby, big ears and all. She lifted him up in her trunk and gently rocked him to sleep. That night, the circus train stopped and all the animals climbed out. The circus men put up a huge tent. The next morning, the circus parade made its way through the town. The band played. The clowns and animals marched down the street as the people clapped and cheered. Crowds hurried to the circus tent that night. They were eager to see all the animals. "Look at his ears!" cried one noisy boy, pointing at Dumbo. They were the funniest things he'd ever seen. The boys laughed and teased Dumbo. Then one of them pulled the little elephant's ears. Mrs. Jumbo trumpeted with anger when she raised a hay bale to throw at the naughty boys. They ran away in terror. "Down! Down!" cried the ringmaster, cracking his whip. Dumbo's mother was taken away and locked in a small cage, far away from Dumbo. Nearby, a mouse called Timothy was watching. He felt sorry for the little elephant. "All we've got to do is build you an act," Timothy told Dumbo. "Make you a star." Just then they heard the ringmaster talking in his tent. "Have I got an idea?" he was saying. "An enormous pyramid of pachyderms. Now comes the climax." So, as soon as the ringmaster was asleep, Timothy crept into his tent. He scampered up to the ringmaster's ear and said, "Who is your climax?" "The little elephant with the big ears. Dumbo!" "Dumbo!" mumbled the ringmaster. "Dumbo!" The next morning, the ringmaster tried out his new idea. He had all the elephants balanced carefully on top of one another, and Dumbo was to be the very top elephant, the star. But when Dumbo ran to jump onto the top elephant, oh no! He tripped over his big ears and bumped into the pyramid. The elephants crashed to the ground, and the whole circus tent fell down around them. Bump, bump, bump. Oops. Now the elephants were angrier than ever with Dumbo, but the ringmaster had one more idea. Dumbo could become a clown. So Dumbo was dressed like a baby and put at the very top of a burning building. The other clowns playfully pretended to be firefighters. They sprayed Dumbo with water and held a hoop for him to jump into. Poor Dumbo was terrified as he jumped. Down, down he dropped until he fell through the hoop into a big tub of sticky goo. The audience cheered and roared with laughter when Dumbo landed in the goo. But Dumbo was not happy at all. "We're going over to see your mother," said Timothy to cheer up Dumbo. Dumbo and his mother were overjoyed to see each other. Mrs. Jumbo put her trunk through the bars of her cage and cuddled her son, singing a lullaby. But all too soon it was time for Dumbo to go. Dumbo cried a little after seeing his mother. All he wanted was to be with her. Once he lay down to sleep, he began to have the strangest dream. In the dream, he was blowing bubbles. Soon the bubbles looked just like elephants, elephants that danced and flew. The next morning, Timothy tried to convince Dumbo that he could fly just like a bird. He said Dumbo's ears were so big they were like wings. Dumbo wasn't so sure, but he trusted Timothy. He would try to fly. In the next show, Dumbo was once again with the clowns. They wanted him to leap from the burning building, but this time Timothy had given a bird feather to Dumbo. Timothy said it was a magic feather that would help him fly. Holding it tight, Dumbo got ready to jump. It worked. Dumbo and Timothy soared through the air, but halfway to the bottom, Dumbo lost his grip on the magic feather. Without it, he couldn't fly. He and Timothy were falling. With the wind whistling past as they sped toward the ground, Timothy quickly told Dumbo that the magic feather wasn't real. He didn't need it. All he had to do was believe in himself. "Open those ears," Timothy cried. "You can fly, you can." Dumbo took a deep breath and began to flap his ears as fast as he could. Suddenly, Dumbo was flying. He didn't need that feather after all. The ringmaster was amazed. He watched Dumbo swoop over the tub of goo and soar past the cheering crowds. Dumbo was a star. Before long, Dumbo was famous all around the world, just as Timothy had said he would be. Crowds flocked to the circus to see Dumbo, the amazing flying elephant. The ringmaster released Dumbo's mother and gave her a special train car of her own, and Dumbo and his mother were very happy. and that is the story of Dumbo. And see. Hi, Amy, AGC Magic TV. Welcome in. Happy Thursday night. So bear with me just 1 second. I neglected to put a bookmark in this story. Here we go. So our second story tonight, bear with me while I lubricate the throat. Okay. So, second story tonight is Timothy's Big Day, of course, featuring Dumbo. Timothy Q. Mouse looked out over the edge of Dumbo's hat and grinned. Below him, the crowd cheered for the flying elephant. Timothy loved the circus. There was no place in the world he would rather be. Later that night, Timothy watched the crew pack up the circus. It was time to move on to a new town. But first, the ringmaster had to pass out letters and packages to the performers. Unseen by the ringmaster, a tiny envelope fell out of the pile. Timothy scurried over to the fallen letter. The mouse turned the envelope over to see who it was for, and then gasped. It was for him. Timothy couldn't believe it. His family was coming to see him. He hadn't spoken to them since he left home to join the circus. To his parents, life on the farm was perfect. They couldn't imagine living anywhere else. Timothy hurried over to Dumbo's stall. "Oh boy, look at this, will ya?" Timothy shouted, waving around the letter. "My parents are coming to see you perform, Dumbo. We'll put on such a show for them, they'll have to like the circus. After all, who wouldn't love a flying elephant?" As the circus traveled to the next town, Timothy grew more and more excited about seeing his parents. But Timothy was nervous, too. What if his parents didn't think he'd done a good job with Dumbo after all? He wanted them to be proud of him, and that meant he had to show them how great circus life was. The next morning, the circus train pulled into the station. After so long away, Timothy felt strange to know that he was home again. He wondered if he would see his family in the crowd, but there were too many people. If the mice had come, There was no way he'd be able to find them. Finally, the animals arrived at the circus site. Timothy watched as the circus hands got to work setting up the big top. No matter how many times he saw it, watching the tent go up never got any less exciting. Just wait until my family gets a load of this, Timothy said to Dumbo. The lights, the noise, and you, Dumbo. I can't wait for them to see your act. But at that moment, Dumbo let out a great sneeze. Dumbo sneezed again and again. Oh no, the ringmaster said, hurrying over to look at the little elephant. This is no good. You can't go on with the cold. We can't go on without you. Oh, and we can't go on without you. The ringmaster turned to the circus hands. Sorry, lads. This fella needs his rest. Today's show will have to wait. Oh no. Timothy looked over at Dumbo. The ringmaster was right. The little elephant did not look good at all. It's my job to take care of you, Dumbo, Timothy said with determination. Let's find you somewhere comfortable to lie down. Timothy led Dumbo to a cozy pile of hay and went to get a steaming bowl of peanut soup. Okay, let's pause for a commercial break. Does peanut soup sound appetizing to anyone else, or is it just me? This sounds really appetizing to me. Okay, now back to our regularly scheduled story. Then Timothy started to give Dumbo a warm bath, but Dumbo sneezed again. Next, the mouse found the warmest blanket he could and draped it over Dumbo, but it was no use. The elephant just kept sneezing. Well, the least I can do is make sure you get some peace and quiet so you can rest, Timothy said, moving to the front of the tent. He felt bad for Dumbo. It was no fun to be sick, but he felt bad for himself, too. This was his chance to make his parents proud of him. Timothy was still feeling sorry for himself a few hours later when he heard a familiar voice. Timothy, dear, we have been looking for you everywhere. Timothy turned to see his mother, his father, and his brothers and sisters standing in front of him. Mother, father, you're here. The little mouse hung his head. I'm afraid Dumbo has a cold. He can't go on tonight. I'm sorry you wasted your time coming. Wasted our time? Timothy's father asked. We came to the circus to see you. We're not big city travelers, but we're certainly not going to miss a chance to see our son. You don't think I made a mistake joining the circus? Timothy asked. There's no such thing as a mistake as long as you're doing what you love, his mother said. At that moment, the flaps to Dumbo's tent rustled, and the little elephant stepped through, looking like he felt much better. Dumbo, old pal, Timothy said, may I introduce you to my family? Dumbo was very pleased to meet them. If you'll excuse me, Timothy said to everyone, I'd better let the ringmaster know that Dumbo is feeling better. Then he turned to his parents. Wait here, you two. I have something I'd like to show you. Oh, a second. That night, as Dumbo prepared to take to the air, Timothy climbed into his usual spot on the elephant's hat. But this time, he wasn't alone. Beside him were his parents. With a great flapping of his ears, Dumbo lifted off the ground and soared over the circus crowd. Cheers filled the room at the sight of the flying elephant. And that is the end of Timothy's Big Day. Let me see here. Hi, Dave, Space Mountain Dave. How are you tonight? Let me see what we had up here about the peanuts. Jennifer says, I love peanuts, but maybe not so. Well, maybe not. Tina says, yuck, no, boiled peanuts. Karki says, maybe peanut soup with ginger and garlic. That sounds interesting. Tennessee, Tim says, well, I like Asian food with peanuts and peanut sauce. And then he says, and watered chestnuts. Yeah. So maybe something where you have like peanuts in the broth, maybe with, anyway, I don't know. Anyway, welcome in Space Mountain Dave, and I see Jonathan just popped in. Hey, Jonathan, how are you? And anyway, that is our final story for the night. Next week, I'm very excited. I've had this book for a few months. I wanted to read it, and so finally is the perfect time because 2 weeks from yesterday will be the third season debut of The Mandalorian on Disney Plus. So I'm going to be reading next week and possibly the next week, as it's kind of a long story. If you can see that, The Mandalorian Volume 1, this book kind of tells the story of the first season. And I picked this up. I'm not sure where I picked this up. It might have been I'm actually not sure where I picked this up, but this is volume 1. This is on Amazon, although I didn't get it from Amazon. I got it from some store. But anyway, you can get this on Amazon in case you're interested. And they unfortunately do not have a volume 2 for this, at least on Amazon. But anyway, I'm going to be reading this next week. And it seems like it could be a little longer. So when I get about halfway, I'll kind of see how long the stream has gone on, and we may have 2 parts to this. We'll just have to see next week. So pop in. I'll read this, and we will see what's going on with little Mr. Grogu over there. So anyway, tomorrow it'll be 11 a.m. Eastern time. I do have a video that will be premiering. It is set up as a premiere. It is the Spaceship Earth, the lights on Spaceship Earth. And it's I recorded it back in about a month ago when I was at Epcot, and I still haven't put it up. And so it'll be up tomorrow, and it will be a premiere. And so pop in around 11. It's like a 3-minute video, so it's a really quick, short thing. And so pop in and say hello and enjoy the Spaceship Earth. It's the Rainbow Connection show that they're doing right now during the Festival of the Arts, which is actually, it is drawing to a close. The last day for that, I think, is going to be Monday, the 20th, if I remember right. But anyway, hope to see you for that video. And I'll see you next week for The Mandalorian. Thank you, everyone, for popping in and saying hello. Whether you are watching live or watching on the replay, if you haven't already and you're liking this, go ahead and bop the like button down here somewhere. If you are watching on the replay, let me know, and I will let me know in the comments, and I will reply. I will reply to your comment. So good night, everyone. Have a gobble-tastic and turkey-rific night. And until next time, have a great night.